Hey everyone, Marty Sutter, Jeff Burton, Steve Letarte joining you after Denny Hamlin's 50th career win at Pocono, the all-time winner at Pocono now. But Jeff has certainly came with a lot of controversy. The move on Kyle Larson to be able to make the pass for the win, fair or foul by Denny Hamlin?
Can both be true?
Yes, sure.
I mean, clearly the majority of the fans thought it was a foul. I mean, the booing from the grandstands was crazy how loud it was, even up in the booth. I mean, Denny used every bit of racetrack, and I think Denny said it best. He put Larson in a position where either lift and give the spot up or stay in the gas and potentially wreck. If I'm Larson, I'm not happy that you put me in that position. I don't think that's, as a driver, I don't think that's actually a fair move to just put somebody in a position. Okay, you can lift here because I run you out of the groove and not wreck. Or you can lift and put yourself in jeopardy. Like, I don't think those are the kind of options that are acceptable. Denny Hamlin, on the other hand, he's like, hey, man, we're racing. And he doesn't think he did anything wrong. In my opinion, he did do something wrong. He took advantage of Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson paid the price. And according to Kyle, it's not the first time it's happened. So we'll see where that goes.
So the interesting thing for me is I don't think the debate was the move aggressive or was it over the line? It was definitely an aggressive move. I think the debate is that acceptable to win a race? Are there any repercussions? Because the guy's won 50 races. He's been very consistent in how he's done it, whether you like him or don't like him. If I'm Kyle Larson, I'm very upset. But what I heard from Kyle Larson and how they've raced each other in the past, I think Denny Hamlin's going to continue to make these moves because they have worked for him and they worked for him again Sunday. But I will add to this, while Denny's move I thought was aggressive and left Larson very little choice, the only reason he was there is because Kyle Larson missed turn one. I mean, let's not forget Denny Hamlin lined up behind Kyle Larson going into turn one. So I think a mistake by Larson allowed Denny to then take advantage of Kyle Larson, if that makes sense, right? The move itself was egregious, but the reason it was even available was a mistake by Larson trying to win the race.
That's a very interesting point, Steve. The post-race comments, very interesting as well, both from Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. Let's listen in.
I'm not here to defend anything. I put both of those guys, the 48 and the 5, in an arrow situation. Didn't touch either one. How can you wreck someone you don't touch? They make a decision to either let off the gas and race side by side or hit the gas and hit the wall. I mean, I put them to those decisions. I didn't overshoot the corner. I was behind them. I tried to get position on them. Knew it was going to be tight off of 2, but always made sure I left a lane or more than a lane. Damn, I mean, we're all racing for a win, and I guarantee you, roles reverse, it goes the same way. I've been on the end of so many of these results, and I am definitely, when it comes to getting 50 for me, 600 for Toyota, I'm going to make sure that I drive as hard as I possibly can and respectful. That's why I left them more than a lane off of turn 2.
I've been cost a lot of good finishes by him throughout my career, and I know he says I race a certain way, but I don't think I've ever had to apologize to him about anything. So, not that I'm sure he's going to say sorry after this, but is what it is. So, yeah, we're friends. Yes, this makes things awkward, but whatever. He's always right. All the buddies know. Denny's always right. It is what it is. I'm not going to let it tarnish a friendship on track, but I am pissed. So, and I feel like I should be pissed.
You race him differently on track then?
I think at this point I have to, right? Like I said, I've never had to apologize to him about anything I've done on the racetrack. I can count 4 or 5 times where he's had to reach out to me to be like, oh man, sorry, I put you in a bad spot there, or whatever. And so eventually, like he says, you got to start racing people a certain way to get the respect back. Again, I haven't done that to Denny, so I don't think I deserve to be, run into before I ever got to the wall.
Boy, a lot to unpack there, huh, Steve? I mean, first of all, I think you guys disagree with Denny. I think there was contact. Junior was very clear in the booth. You guys all saw contact. The Kyle Larson comments are very interesting as well. The core thing I want to get to is, number one, you never see Kyle Larson that upset, ever. And number two, I'm wondering, should Denny feel more remorse for the way he won this race, in your opinion, Steve?
Absolutely not. He doesn't feel remorse because he has none. He's not sorry. He's totally okay. Now, listen, he skewed the comments. No contact. There was zero contact with the 48. There was contact with the 5. I don't think it was a huge amount of contact. I don't think it was a body slam. I don't think he shoved the 5 into the wall. I think he shoved the 5 into the position where it was either completely get out of the gas or hit the wall, much like Denny pointed out. But, he's not going to say he's sorry because he's not sorry. Because Denny Hamlin has said this is how he's going to race. I've seen Denny lose races other ways. I go back to the Indy road course. He lost. It might have been the first year we were there, right? That he got wrecked by another car. So it has worked both ways. And I think what Denny is saying is that this is what it is. Would this move have been okay 10 years ago? Zero chance. Is that move okay 50 laps earlier? Zero chance, I would say. But on the final restart or final restarts with a trophy there, I think this is the level of racing that we see week in and week out. Larson should be upset. I think it's fair that he can race Denny differently if he so chooses. I would be shocked if he did. So until there's some repercussions, why do something different? I mean, Jeff, right? If you're my driver, if I'm Denny Hamlin's crew chief, hey man, number 50, let's hang the banner.
So I agree with Steve in this sense, in that we know that with so much on the line with wins today and how much they mean, we've known that what's acceptable is going to move because there's more on the line. Winning means more than at any point. And so that's going to question people's morals and values. We've known that ever since this point system came up. And if I'm Denny Hamlin and I'm, he was unapologetic. I didn't do anything wrong. He 100% believes it. If I'm Kyle Larson, here's my take. You treated me the same way you treated Ross Chastain last year, a guy that had consistently wrecked you, it consistently put you in bad spots. You raced me the exact same way you raced him. I deserve more respect than that. And that's, if you're Kyle Larson, that's how you're looking at it. And I agree with Kyle Larson. Why did you treat me the same way you treated a guy that had consistently been a problem when I haven't been? And so you don't race everybody the same on the racetrack. Or I shouldn't say you don't. In my world, you have to consider who you're racing. But there is no questioning Denny Hamlin's success. There's no question in how good he is. There's no question in that he won that race. It's his. He got the trophy. He took it home. He did not break a rule. There were no rules broken in what happened on Sunday. What he's going to have to figure out is, was the win worth it long term? Is Kyle Larson going to make him pay? Kyle Larson hasn't been willing to do that to this point, according to both of them. So is Kyle Larson going to make him pay for that race and going to make it so he doesn't have that conversation anymore? And that's really where we are. And if I'm Denny Hamlin, I take that trophy, I put it on my counter, and I'm like, number 50, baby, that's my win. If I'm Kyle Larson, I'm saying you took that from me, but what am I going to do to prevent it from happening again? Only time will tell.
It's fascinating stuff. And Jeff, real quick, I kind of want to spin it forward. So we've had this conversation a little bit, and I thought Martin Truex Jr.'s comments after the race were very interesting. He felt like it was way too early in the year to do something like that and make an enemy heading into the playoffs. Does Kyle Larson race Denny Hamlin different moving forward?
Listen, I heard this about Ross Chastain the entire year last year. He finished second in the points, had a chance to win Phoenix. Nobody did a damn thing to him. So, you know what I mean? I'm tired of listening to it. I don't know it. I don't see it. I don't see if people are doing what they say they're going to do. And I watched it all last year. And after all that happened, Ross Chastain had an honest, legitimate shot to win the championship. This is a sport today, as it's always been, where drivers have split-second decisions to make. They're not thinking about, oh, no, what happens after this race. Your personality comes through. Your aggression level comes through. What you think is acceptable comes through. Your selfishness and arrogance comes through in these moments. That's what we expect of their athletes. They have to decide amongst themselves what's appropriate and what's not.
Pocono was sold out, Marty. It's the best crowd I've seen there in at least a decade. And it was sold out because every restart you either take or it gets taken from you. It's that simple. This is not, intramural football. This is professional sports, and there are going to be upset drivers. There are going to be drivers that cross the line in those split-second decisions. But if you think or hesitate, it's already too late. You better take, because if you don't take that inch, your competitor is going to. Jeff and I see it 2, 3, 4 wide. We see things every week that we have never seen before, and it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.